Very well. Welcome back to the program. Now let's get into the discussion. Let's talk about between life and time, safety in all the public places. Public spaces would mean even in your vehicle, at home, at school, even a place of work like this one, or even in the market, in a stadium, in the streets. A public space, safety is something quite important. Emergency and disaster response. I want us to take a look at what are some of the precautions that we need to take as a country or even as an individual when we are faced with such kind of deadly scenarios. I'm joined by Master Sami Onyango, who is the chairman of the National Gun Owners Association and is also a safety officer instructor at Ngao. Sami, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Karibu sana once again.
Asante sana.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, we are happy to be here and we are glad that you've hosted us here as the National Gun Owners Association.
Yes.
We hope that today will be a good morning for us to be able to interact with the country and to also be able to speak
Karibu
matters.
Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Anthony Gillo is a trainer at St. John Ambulance. He's a man with many hats. He trains many people. Anthony, good to see you.
Asante sana. Thank you.
Sana.
Thank you.
How
Thank you very much. St. John is good. We're always there for the service of mankind to be able to respond to emergencies. And also at the same time, when everything is down during the week, we also do trainings to be able to ensure that the public gets trained, the corporates, they get their skills updated. Yeah, so that is basically what we do. And of course, we have our guys who are always on backup 24 hours a day, 367 days a year.
It's St. John's and another that I don't want to mention that you've been operational for far too long. How many years of operation right now?
In Kenya, we have been here since 1923.
Sami, where were you in 1923?
Yes. I think that time plans were still being made.
You have a very good idea somewhere. Okay, 1923.
1923.
Yes.
So when St. John started, it started in the Kenya Police Service. And then now from there, because it was an organized formation, then it moved to the Kenya Railways. And then now from there, it now moved to us, who are volunteers, who are not in the police service. But at the same time, we are a paramilitary organization. That is why you may see that volunteers, they have uniforms. They don't own like the police service. So that one is a volunteer wing. And then now we have the secretariat who have now the people that are working in the ambulance services, the paramedics who are on call 24 hours a day. And then we have now the other part of the secretariat that now deals with the training and just to be able now to co-opt and coordinate also now the members in the event there are any emergencies. So that is basically how St. John is structured.
Great.
Yes.
What about Ngao?
Ngao, Kenya. Yes. Now, the National Gun Owners Association, we are an outfit of civilians who government has entrusted to be able to possess their own licensed firearms. And we are a group of professionals and any other Kenyan who has found it fit to seek this kind of authority from government and for them to be allowed to own firearms. We are just not a group of firearm holders, but we are also part of the society that really helps in many other ways. We do come together to try and build and associate ourselves with many of the needs that the country has. There are many things that we do as a group of people which are not in the forefront. We do assist many of the children homes. We also come together when there are disasters in the country. As many of you realize that during the Dusit attack, during the Westgate attack, whenever there was a terror attack, you hear that 1, 2, 3 of us were somewhere within the vicinity. Because we all we're spread across the whole country. Not only those ones that you hear about, but whenever there are car accidents, whenever there are operations that are happening within the country, 1 or 2, 3 of us will always be there. And you find us that we don't wait for the whistle for us to be able to proceed or move in to assist. We instinctively move into it because that is part of our training. We secondly looked at it and found that it was very necessary, this was in 2014, that we find that licensed firearm holders within the country needed to come together so that we stop the perception that these are just a group of very rich people or people who hold their firearms just as cowboys or who recklessly do operate to use their firearms. So we, after developing the association and us being able to come together as a group, until to date, we've never had any of our members who has been accused or found guilty or who has misused their firearms, because we do promote proficiency within firearm environment.
Okay.
Yes.
Very well. So now that we've gotten the background...
Oh, sorry, also during COVID.
Yeah.
Sorry about this. This is something very important. I think my members will not let me go free if I don't mention this. During COVID, we were trained, I think more than 100 of us were trained by the Ministry of Health as trainers of trainers, and we went around the whole country, ensuring that our police officers, who are out 24 hours, helping and assisting to control traffic and to control the curfew during that time. Was it the curfew? Or
yes.
During that period? And you see, they were all exposed. And you remember, police officers also our brothers and sisters. They're also our family members and all that. And we had to make sure that they're safe. So we came together, brought in resources from our members, and we went to the 47 counties that we have in this country, ensuring that each and every police officer had some training. Because we couldn't reach them person to person, we had to train some of the police officers so they can go ahead and train other police officers. So you always find us in the forefront trying to make sure that we do assist and help one person or the other.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. So now that we've gotten the background of two organizations, I want us to take a look at what's happening in the country. The country, we've witnessed several episodes of fracas and protests here and there, but let's come back here and start with you, Anthony.
Yes.
You know, you are mostly on the front line, and anytime there is a clear and classic example during the recent protests, you'll either see St. John Ambulance and other health service providers in the streets helping people who are injured in one way or another. Just explain to me the extent of how do I put it, the extent of the whole scenario, how it looks like when you're in the front line assisting people, and what drives you as St. John's Ambulance to say, this one requires first aid and this one requires to be taken to the hospital, and this one requires, do you say on-site treatment and you release that person to go? What informs that?
Okay. When it comes to, we call them casualties.
Yes.
We usually have casualties and we have patients, okay? Now, casualties, they're people that are injured or they are sick, okay? But they have not gotten medical treatment or they have not gotten to hospital or a pre-hospital setting, okay? Now, the public that we train, the members, the corporates that we do train, we train them to be able to respond, to handle any first aid related incidences, okay? When I'm talking about injuries, we're talking about burns, we're talking about fractures, we're talking about bleeding, basically trauma, okay? Including simple things like nose bleeding, fainting. When talking about sicknesses, we may have also now conditions like diabetes, we have seizures. So we train them to be able now to handle such incidences, okay? And for the minor incidences, the casualty now can be discharged to proceed on with their activities, provided they have recovered, okay? Now, for the major cases, now let's say like a condition like diabetes, if the casualty does not get to improve, then it means that they may need to be reviewed, okay? So paramedics who are on site can be able now to handle such cases. And if the patient is able to be stabilized, they can be released. But if the condition now needs to be referred to a medical facility, then we can be able now to refer the patient to a medical facility. When it comes to casualty management, we usually have things that we call the priorities of life. The priorities of life is the airway, breathing, circulation, okay? So if any of it is affected, then it means that the casualty's life is at risk, including your own, okay? When I'm talking about the airway, we're talking about where air gets into your body, through your nose, through your mouth, through your lungs. So if any of that is affected, then it means that you can be at risk, okay? Whereby you may be strangulated, you may be choking, okay? When I'm talking about breathing issues, we are talking about things like asthma, we are talking about choking, we are talking about what we call anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is basically an allergy-related condition whereby you ingest something and simply your body rejects, okay? In other words, it refuses. So you get an overwhelming, massive allergic reaction, which can be fatal. And even a person can die in under 10 minutes. Things that can cause the anaphylaxis is something as simple as peanuts, okay? There are people who, once they take peanuts, it reacts badly with them. Seafood. it can react with them, including bee stings, okay? That's why they usually say 1 man's meat is another man's poison.
Yes,
so I think that one is the best definition of the anaphylaxis. When I'm talking about something like circulation now, I've mentioned about the ABC, airway breathing circulation. Here we're talking about things like bleeding, okay, and especially when we've been having protests, you find that most of the people get to bleed because of traumatic injuries. Either they could have gotten gunshot wounds. When you're talking about road traffic accidents, you may find that people have bleeding either due to amputations. You can recall also in the recent past whereby there was that police officer, unfortunately, whose hands got blown off as a result of the tear gas canister. So that one is complete amputation for both arms, okay? So if we do not control bleeding, then it means that the person can bleed to death. When it is yourself, to have a proper circulation, it means you must have the right amount of blood. The right amount of blood, basically, we usually say that for a normal adult, you have about 5 to 6 liters of blood. You lose half the blood volume, your heart will stop because it will not be
3 liters and you're...
Yes, you're gone. Because it means that now the heart cannot be able to pump blood to your vital body organs. Vital body organs, we're talking about your brain, you're talking about your heart, your lungs. So you must have the right amount of blood for you to be able to function.
Okay. I'll come back to that because that forms part of our discussion. But let me come back to Sammy. Sammy, how deadly is a gunshot wound? Either on the finger, the ear, any part of your body. I don't want to mention leg or whichever. How deadly is one single bullet that is either lodged in your body or has an exit, or once it is shot, before St. John ambulance arrives to take care of that? How deadly can that be? So that I want us to demystify the whole of this for the members of the public to just to be keen on that. Sam is, is like a Muganga. He's like a Muganga, very good, putting his part. There we go.
Thank you. Talk about a bullet. People actually do at times not understand what a bullet is. The best example I got was actually, it's not a bullet, but it's a coffee cup. But simulates a bullet. So I found it to be...
But it's a thermos.
Yeah, it is actually the best example that I would be able to come with. Okay. So when you talk about a bullet, actually this is what is a bullet. The whole of this, in what you normally see, is known as a cartridge in civilian terms, or a round in military terms. But this is what is known as a bullet.
Yes.
So if you're talking about how severe this can be, the purpose of a bullet, bullets don't cause any magic. They simply penetrate and cause a hole. It's a hole that they do provide in your body. So, and this bullet travels, and everything about a bullet it's all about ballistics. The internal ballistics is what happens with the bullet when it is within the person who's controlling it. That's when it's inside the firearm. That is all about internal ballistics. Exterior ballistics is what happens when this bullet is traveling on its path towards the target that you have actually sent it to, from the internal to the exterior ballistics. It will travel towards its target. Now, when it gets to its target, that now is called internal. That is now terminal ballistics. Now, the terminal ballistics is what happens to this bullet, what the bullet does to you, what it does to your tissues. That is going to explain much better. When it gets there, it actually stretches all your tissues through violently because of the pressure and the speed and the force that it comes with. It comes with tonnage of force from where it comes from, where it travels from the firearm straight to your body. So it stretches all your tissues as it goes through. And that is temporary stretch, it is temporary cavity that it provides. Then there is permanent structure that it causes inside. So the organs that it finds inside, it will destroy. Now that is what he was talking about when he says, now you're going to start losing blood, and they think it's just under 3 minutes. When you lose blood under 3 minutes, your life is definitely not going to be there anymore. And we have to stop it. So even if it hits your hand, if it hits you here, and you're going to bleed profusely out of that particular position, if the particular veins that are traveling there have been fractured and they're bleeding, if you lose blood, 3 minutes, you're done. Heavy loss of blood continuously for 3 minutes. So wherever the bullet hits, as you've asked, if it hits your chest, if it hits your one leg, if it hits your fingers, it's going to be a problem. So at the end of the day, where the bullet travels, it hits your body. Once you start bleeding, that is a problem.
There is a clear example of that gentleman who was shot somewhere in Central. Can't remember whether it is Embo Meru. It's alleged that he was shot on the leg, and he died out of that. What could have caused that? Because somebody would assume that when you're only supposed to be shot on the upper torso for it to be deadly or whatever. But what would cause that? Anthony, as we wait for Sammy, what would cause that? Because nobody would imagine that you're shot on the leg and you're dead.
Okay. We usually say that your normal human body, it cannot tolerate about 20% of fluid loss, okay? If you lose a liter, then it becomes a problem, okay? That is why during a normal blood drive, you can be able to donate 500 ml, you're functional, you're given a bottle of soda, then a half loaf of bread, then you go your way, and then the person spreads the good news that when you go to that tent, you donate blood, you're given a soda, and that is how, and namkatenusu, and that has always been the motivation, so people go and donate. So if you lose 1 liter of blood, there are many changes that can happen in the body, okay? So this person begins now to have a rapid heartbeat, they begin to breathe faster. The more you continue to lose blood, other changes begin to set in. This person begins to feel dizzy. They begin to become nauseated. I can take a good example, the incident that happened at Narok, Suswa. You can recall that police officer, unfortunately, was attacked. His hand was chopped off. If you can be able to recall that video, you can recall there's a time he was trying to stand up and he was falling down, okay? So the person begins to feel dizzy. We do not control the bleeding. The casualty now begins to feel thirsty. You've seen road traffic accident victims. They've lost a lot of blood. The person says, nipe maji, nataka maji ya kunywa. It means that this person has lost a lot of blood, okay? So those ones are the problems when a person loses blood. Now, the example that you have given. When a person, we see that they have died as a result of an injury, it means that they bled a lot and nothing was done to control the bleeding. We do not control the bleeding, then we will lose the casualty. A bleeding to an injury to the leg, if we do not control it, it can kill someone, okay? Because this person will bleed and bleed and bleed. But if we are able to control the bleeding, then the person can be able to survive. We usually say that also, if you're having a traumatic injury, let's say a penetrating wound, okay? So for gunshot wounds, we will call them penetrating injuries. It is dependent also with the speed of the projectile, okay? If it is moving less than 200 feet per second, then the injury may not be that significant. But if it is moving now over 2,000 feet per second, okay? Depends now, I think he's the expert there. Then it can cause significant injury. Pelvic injury, the person can lose about 1,000 to 1,500 to 3,000 milliliters of blood. An injury to a long bone, that is the femur, okay? The person can lose about 1,500 liters of blood. And also it depends also now, injury to the ulna, to the radius, which is this part of the arm. If you're shot here, you can probably lose about 150 to 250 mLs, but you do not control the bleeding, the person will continue to bleed. And unfortunately, the life, like I said, the life of the person is at risk.
So it's between life and time.
Exactly.
Sammy,
Victor,
go ahead.
Just to add on to what Anthony is saying, you see, the problem we are facing as a country today is that there's a little bit, I think, and Anthony needs to maybe just let us know. I don't know how well maybe St. John and, if I remember well, during my young days, it was St. John and Red Cross are the ones we knew as the two first responders. But everywhere you went, you just knew St. John's ambulance and Red Cross ambulance. And today you'd find that the public is truly not very much educated towards matters relating to how to stop the bleeding or anything to do with emergencies. And this is where the issue comes in. Many border borders that have come across today, you find them saying, hey, you know, we lost, we're going through the Nice barrier, what happened? There was an accident, there was an accident, there was an accident. But the argument is they don't want to remove the victim from the accident scene until maybe the traffic officer gets to site or because they are hoping there's going to be some compensation or something of the sort. But when they are putting this person on the ground, they're leaving the person on the ground, they don't even want to treat or stop the bleeding because they want the bleeding to be seen that the guy really got injured so that it can make the case look big.
But I think now it's a bit of a delicate balance because now, again, Anthony, you'll also tell us here.
Yes.
In an accident scene, tafadhali usiguze, because probably he has got a lot of injuries, probably broken ribs and all that can prick. I've been in such a situation before.
Yes.
But then now, so where is the balance then? Do you help or do you just leave that person for first responders like you people to arrive? Or what do we do?
We usually say that time is tissue, okay? Your brain, if it is out of oxygen 4 to 6 minutes, the brain cells begin to die.
Okay.
And once it is dead, it is irreversible, okay? A road traffic accident whereby people are injured, even when you call the number 999 to call for police for assistance, they will ask you 2 questions. Is there a person who is injured? Or are there any fatalities? Okay, so that also now they can be able now to prioritize.
Okay.
If there are people who are injured, they will advise you, take them to hospital. The police officers will come to the scene.
Okay.
They will come do their things, take their evidence, and then afterwards a police officer can always go to the medical facility where the person is and take their details.
So, so let me get it right.
Yes.
There's an accident. As a first responder, either to a boda boda or a private vehicle owner, you can take person to the hospital first.
Yes, take them to hospital, they get assistance.
Taken care of.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if it is vehicles which are damaged, the vehicles will be there.
Right.
They will remain unseen. They can be cleared later on. But the most important thing is to save the life of the person who is injured.
Thank you. Sami, how dangerous is this? Because when, you know, people made, you know, Kenyans, we make fun out of everything. Even a song and a meme, one leg and everything else, so just after that. But how dangerous, okay, these are dummy ammunitions. Get it right. How dangerous is this?
Ammunition, the main purpose of an ammunition is to destroy. I think that is as blunt as I can put it. It's not made there for any other purpose, but the purpose for it is to destroy. There are less lethal ammunition that are used for stopping a threat. And the stopping a threat is not to eliminate a threat. You can stop a threat, not to eliminate it. You can discourage it from it not going on to become a threat or to escalate its threat levels. But the main purpose of a live ammunition, its purpose is to destroy. I don't want to use the word kill, but I will tell you the main purpose for a live bullet is for it to destroy. Why? Because it is not shot at anything else apart from the intended target. And I think the levels of escalation, as you hear people maybe saying at times that, why would I shoot that person on the leg? Why would I shoot that person on the arm? Or it is a strategic move that you would take. Because in a hostage scenario, where you have somebody who was taken hostage or somebody who's rushing at you and this person is carrying a machete, this person could be mentally ill. This person could be maybe running berserk out of something else that you're not understanding. This person is not a direct threat to you, does not know you. He's not somebody who has been sent to you. It's not somebody who you think you've done something and he's coming to take your life. But you found him in a supermarket or a mall where he's gone berserk and he's running amok here and he's holding a fire, or he's holding a machete or he's holding a blade, which some people would assume that a blade is less lethal than a firearm. I would tell you at times they're at equal par, because it can equally, once it gets into your body, the kind of injury you'll get from a blade, you'll equally bleed the same way you'll bleed from a bullet. So for you to be able to stop that threat at that particular moment, if my training level, my skill level is good enough, and that's what you'll find with most of our National Gun Owners Association, 90% of our members, we really insist on them to have proficiency training and to keep on training. So whenever they're in a mall or they're sitting in a supermarket and is having his coffee, and he comes across something like that, he will not sit back and wait. He will be a fast responder. And what will he do? He will stop that threat. Now, stopping that threat, the first thing he does, he finds an area where it is much less likely to cause instant death, and he will be able to now shoot maybe at the leg or maybe shoot at the shoulder and shoot some other position that you can be able now to stop that person from approaching. Equally, the way you would be in a restaurant and somebody just starts running from that direction and he comes charging towards you and is holding a machete. What would I do if I'm a licensed firearm holder? To me, that was a direct signal that that is imminent threat to my life. So what am I supposed to do? I would not actually destroy that person because I don't know why he's attacking me, but I will change the trajectory of the bullet by taking a different position of my shot, maybe going to my knee, maybe going prone position, and I will take my shot. And if I take my shot, I will stop that person. If he keeps on proceeding towards me, then I will take another shot. Now, this is all calculated, and you must be able to be trained to a position where you can do this. Why? Because you're holding a licensed firearm with you on a daily basis.
Okay. I want us to take a break, and to come back, we want us to talk more about inhalation, for example, when it's come to toxic gases, for example, the tear gas and the water kind of the pink and green water. Yes. We can talk about that, and even the level of provocation, Sammy. We've seen people saying, shoot me on the face, and we always see, for example, law enforcement officers, they're always very calm at that. Even if you come to their faces, they're always very calm. But the level of provocation and why, as members of the public, we should not do that, in whichever circumstance. So let's take a break. And we are going to the other side of the studio. I want us to demonstrate more. Today is all about safety, either at home, at school, in public spaces, even here at work. Stay with us, Sammy and Anthony with me. Come back. All right, now, so here we have so many things here. First of all, as a member of the press, we've always seen that when it comes to protest, we're also allowed to have our safety gears. Sam will talk about that. But then on the other side, Anton is going to take us through some of the safety measures that we need to take when it comes to such kind of scenarios. But first of all, Anton, just explain to us in one word as you mentioned them, then we proceed. Sammy.
Thank you. So first and foremost, as firearm holders, this is a dummy firearm for me to be able to express to you and show you exactly what it means. That's a firearm. We have the 4 safety rules that talk about firearms. One of the most important safety rules is that all firearms must be treated as loaded at all times. Loaded means that it is a firearm that is ready to take action and to expend the bullet that it has inside. Even if you yourself, you've unloaded the firearm and you're sure that it has been unloaded, at all times you must always treat them as if it is loaded. Right. So we avoid a scenario of what is known as accidental discharge. We refer to it as a negligent discharge because at all times you must always make sure that you follow the 4 rules. Good. The first most important rule is that treat this firearm as if it is loaded at all times. And
that one also applies even to the security officers.
It is a firearm. It is a firearm.
Yes.
As long as it's a firearm, it must be treated as if it is loaded. At all times.
Okay.
So you cannot point this firearm at anything you don't intend to destroy. You cannot. Even this particular dummy that I have with me, I cannot point it at anything that I don't intend to destroy. I cannot point it to my feet. I cannot point it to my head, neither can I point it to my body, neither can I point it to my friend. I can't even warn you with it and tell you where. I cannot do that because I'm pointing at something I don't intend to destroy. So if I'm not pointing at something I don't intend to destroy, how then would I accidentally shoot it? Great. Because I'm not meant to do that. The third rule, I'm not meant to put my finger on this trigger until I'm sure that that target that I'm pointing at, I want to destroy it. So don't put your finger on the trigger until you're sure of your target and you've made a conscious decision that you want to destroy that target. That's when you put your finger onto the trigger. Okay. Then you must know your target, what is in front of your target and what is beyond your target, so that you don't accidentally again. Now that brings us to the aspect of stray bullets. Yes. All right. We've had, even in the recent protest, somebody was at the balcony somewhere in the house or whatever it is. You talked about somebody at your target and something at the background. Yes. So that is a stray bullet? A stray bullet will happen when at times you assume that that is my safe direction. Yes. And we always say in the firearm rules that you must always identify 2 directions, 2 safe directions. Okay. First is my primary safe direction, and a second alternative safe direction.
Okay.
So that in case my primary safe direction is compromised, then I will automatically, my mind will remember that was my alternative.
Yes.
And I will immediately switch to my alternative.
Okay.
So you would find that this particular firearm, I might be thinking that that is a clear direction. Why? Because I want to scare somebody. So I shoot in the air. But when I'm shooting it at 45 degrees,
without analyzing what's there.
I'm not realizing that in 100 or 200 meters, or the same case of a rifle, 300 or 400 or 500 meters away, there is a building that is that high. So my 45 degrees is going that direction.
Yes.
Visually, I cannot see it. But I've chosen that, especially in city dwellings or in that kind of area, if I choose to shoot that direction, then that is not a safe direction.
Yeah.
It reaches to a point as instructors, we normally advise that we cannot even shoot up in the air like this, assuming that up in the air is a safe direction. Because as the bullet travels up,
yes,
it will also have equal force coming down.
Okay.
Remember, it will have nothing to disturb it on its exterior ballistics as it travels up.
Very quickly, what else do we have here? That was very good. For anybody who's watched that, including police officers, licensed firearm holders and all that, that is a good class. So what else do we have here?
So we have, apart from that, we have what I recommend heavily, that anybody who holds a firearm must always know that at on time you might either get shot or something similar. So we have got bulletproof vests.
Oh, yes.
And this is what you see.
And this belongs to us.
This is for the media. We recommend that at all times the media should have this. Because the media is normally between one position and the other position. So you're actually within the exterior ballistics path. And you'll find that one way or the other, that line can come to you. So it has a front vest that you put a plate inside.
And the plate is here?
Yes, that is a plate.
Yeah.
This plate comes in the front here.
Fixed inside there.
Fixed inside.
Yes.
There's one on the front and there's one on the rear. Then this is all ballistic material that prevents even a blade from going through your groin, because the areas that he was talking about that you'll bleed profusely out of in case you're hit.
Very good.
The slowest moving parts of your body.
Let's go to the next one.
Then in our protection, we normally use ear protections when we're at the shooting range. This we have to make sure that at all times you must have your ear protection on. Without this, will not allow you to be in the shooting range. We've got ballistic eyes, we call them glasses, that we use in the range. These are all ballistic because you can have ricochet coming in. It stops the bullets.
Okay.
It can crack it, but even the small spills that come out, they don't damage your.
Very good.
They don't damage your eyes. We have got the helmet. This is what you have to put in your head. You might have to find some of the stray bullets coming in or something else happening. That is going to help you. Atamawe itakusaidia. That we recommend.
Yes.
Now, within our lines, we also have this. This is one kit that most of our members do have with them.
This is called bleeding control.
It's a bleeding control kit.
Right.
Yes. That's a bleeding control kit, and it has clear guidelines. You really don't have to be very educated for you to know how to use this. He's got the hemostatic gauges, his gauges is going to display about them all. And then it has instructions and even a card inside.
Yeah.
This is available locally in some of our markets. If you go to MedSurg, which is just opposite museum.
So basically somebody can buy this.
You will buy this.
And stay with it at home.
Yes.
Just in case of any emergency.
Yes. This is one for bleeding and this one is for burns.
I see.
Yes, when you have these two, you're home safe. You'll
probably Anthony will help us to describe more of that.
Then now we have what is known as less lethal. Now, less lethal can start from bullets. There are bullets that you can have inside your firearm which are less lethal. More or less people know them basically just like rubber bullets.
Yeah.
But there are many other different types of bullets that can be used. And equally, you can have what is known as pepper spray or mace. This is very good. It looks like a keychain, everything else, but if I spray it right now, it is slightly different from the tear gas. And this whole room, I don't think there's anybody who's going to be able to stay.
I have to clarify, nobody has a pepper spray.
To stay inside.
Okay,
yeah,
very
so
well
are some of the things that we normally
Thank you.
use.
Now, so Sam, we are on this end.
Yes.
And now we leave it to Anthony. Anthony, we are in a situation somewhere now. He's given us the bleeding, stopping the bleeding kit and all that for the burns.
Yes.
So take us through, for example, let's start with inhalation of toxic gases.
Yes.
First of all, classic example of the tear gas.
Yes.
Someone has a pneumonia, asthma, or whatever it is. What are some of the first aids that somebody can tackle once there's a scenario such as that?
Okay, we usually say that the best way to be able to handle it, we have what we call the primary survey. whereby we have Dr. ABC. Simply, Dr. ABC is D for danger, R for response. You hear if this casualty can be able to respond, and then now we check our ABC. Danger, you check for anything that can be harm to you, okay? Harm to you yourself as the first aider, harm to the bystander, harm to the casualty. So I usually say that remove the casualty from danger or danger to the casualty. If it is the tear gas, definitely you'll have to leave from that area, okay? People who have medical conditions like asthma, we have...
Can tear gas be lethal when inhaled too much?
It depends with the medical condition of the casualty. Okay. If they're having something like asthma, yes, it can become a problem, okay? So it means that this person needs to get medical assistance. It usually affects the mucosa lining, okay, within the soft muscle, that is the airway lining, okay? So this casualty may feel irritation, okay, and burning sensation, okay? But for most times it will be able to clear, okay? When you inhale, it will be able to clear. But someone who's having asthma, it may become a problem to them, okay? Also, tear gas may also affect your mucal lining, okay, within the eyes. So that is why the person feels teary. The best first aid is simply to be able to flush the eye out with a lot of water, okay? Just flush the eye out with a lot of water and move away from that side.
What about using of toothpaste?
Toothpaste,
we've seen how people
using it, yes. That one, when you're talking about first aid, we usually say that we use generally accepted principles of treatment. So for the use of toothpaste, that one we cannot really place because it has now to be tested and then now confirmed, then now we can be able to adapt it.
Next one.
Yes.
You have a cut. From whichever part, I think you have a dummy here. Just explain to us. Sammy has discharged his shot and somebody is bleeding somewhere because of a gunshot. Yes. First of all, how do you respond to that?
Okay, that's after I've already given that person my quick first aid. Then I've transferred the person to him.
To us, okay?
Let's start from a shot has been fired.
Yes,
so what is the first instance of first aid?
Okay, so now for this person, we have to check if they're responsive, if they are conscious or unconscious, okay?
Go ahead.
So when we come to them, we will be doing something that we call physical survey, okay? A top-to-toe physical survey. So we'll just check and ask, hello, can you hear me? Open your eyes. Then I check the breathing. I confirm if this person is breathing. If they're breathing, then now we can do a physical examination. This person has a projectile, okay? Penetrating chest wound. We can be able to see that the clothing could be having blood. So if they have blood, then we'll be able now to open up the clothing and then do a quick assessment. From this dummy here, we can be able to see that we put an indication here showing that this person has a penetrating trauma, okay? Yeah. Now, for such, okay, if this person has a penetrating trauma, it has gotten into the lungs, there is a problem whereby it may have pierced through the lungs, okay? This person is bleeding. Blood will also come into the pleural space, the space between the lungs and the chest cavity. Yes. So if blood fills up this air, it means that if blood fills up within the lungs, it means that this lung is not going to expand as it ought to. There's a likelihood of failing. The other problem that would be there is that when this person is breathing in, air also escapes into the pleural space, and there's a possibility of also air getting inside the lungs, okay? So what you usually have is this one is a commercial chest seal, okay? Yes. Mostly you'll find that the military have it and the police have it in their tactical first aid kit, okay? The chest seal looks something like this, okay? But alternative, if you are outside, you do not have it, we usually say that you can use a polythene bag, okay? So the polythene bag, what we will do, okay? We will place it on the casualty's chest, okay? And then we seal it on 3 sides, okay? The moment we seal it on 3 sides, when this person breathes in, it will be sucked in and prevents air from the atmosphere getting into the lungs. Yes. And when he relaxes, the polythene bag is going to relax, and then air can be able to escape. The problem that is happening within the casualty, they may get what you call a tension pneumothorax. Tension pneumothorax leads to the collapsing of the lungs. If these lungs collapse, then there is a likelihood also that the other lung would collapse, okay? For the commercial chest seal, this is what we will do.
But in a situation where it's just in open public. So
Yes.
what happens if you don't have these ones?
Within the open public,
Yeah.
definitely you can get a polythene bag or a
Any
kitchen
polythene bag.
film. Yes,
Okay.
even a kitchen film, the one that people usually use for covering fruits, you can use it. Okay. So the commercial chest seal looks like this. It has a valve whereby it can be able to allow air to escape and then prevents air coming into the lungs. So this is what you will do. You will simply take hold of the commercial chest seal and place it like that. I've had to adjust the casualty so that the public can be able to see.
okay, it's
Then
okay.
afterwards, now I seal it up like this. Then now I'll be monitoring how the casualty is breathing. If they develop difficulty in breathing, then it means that there is air within the pleural cavity.
Yeah.
Okay. For the paramedics, they can be able to do what we call needle decompression, so that now we're able to release the lung within, to release air within the lung.
Yes.
Now, if there is a penetrating injury to the skull, the problem is just like yes, the problem that we said is that the bullet, the moment it gets in, it usually expands insides. Okay, so meaning that also the brain can be able to swell. We may be able to notice that this casualty can bleed from the ears, they can bleed from the nose. We will not stop that bleeding. We will let the bleeding still continue to come out. The body can be able to generate what we call the CSF, the cerebrospinal fluid, is the one that will be leaking. But now this casualty needs to get to a medical facility. What you can do is just to be able to dress lightly, then now monitor the casualty's vitals. If this casualty stops breathing, then it will take us now to the next level, whereby now we'll have to do chest compressions. Chest compressions, basically, your hands will be in between the nipples of the casualty. You place your hand at the center like that, interlock your hands, and then now you're able now to do the compressions, okay?
Nice.
So as you're doing the compressions, manual compressions, we are forcing blood to be able now to go out and circulate within the body. Please come and attempt to do CPR. Just come over.
Okay,
Yes.
right.
Just come and give it a try.
This is not my area. Okay, so you said, first of all?
Yes, just kneel beside the casualty, your hands at the center of the chest.
Left or right?
Either the one that you're comfortable.
All right.
Okay, and then now the other knee down.
Like that?
Yes, and then be on top of the casualty. Just be on top, top, and then elbows straight. Lock them. Elbows straight, lock them, and then now let's compress. Let's go.
Sam, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yes, continue.
Fine, I can respond.
Yes,
Sam,
you're doing great. Do not stop. Make it continuous. Make it continuous. At least you do 100 to 120 chest compressions if you're doing hands-on only compressions. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you're doing great. You can stop there. Okay. Now, this casualty is having the penetrating trauma. As you're doing the compressions, there's a likelihood also that this casualty may have blood coming out from the mouth.
All right.
So you may be forced to do hands-on only CPR, but also we can be doing rescue breathing in the event this casualty is not having also bleeding from the mouth. Okay.
Okay. Thank
then
you.
now we hand over the casualty to a medical facility.
We call Dr. Victor.
Yes. Now the other thing that also we may need to do for this casualty, especially we've mentioned that there may be shot to their limbs.
Yes.
We have this device that we call a
Sam,
tourniquet.
you're aware about that?
Yeah, we normally have
Yes.
it in our trauma bags.
Yes. So this is a commercial tourniquet. It is supposed to help to control the bleeding.
Yeah,
I gave the case scenario of the police officer whose limbs got amputated. Okay. So what we will do? Okay. The commercial chest seal looks like this. Maybe the camera can zoom closer. So that is how it looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are able now to put this into the casualty's hand, and then now we will be able now to secure
experiment
it.
with this one.
Yes, we'll use your hand.
Assume I'm short where?
So we will use here, okay? So now, I will put the tourniquet like that, okay? Then what I'll be interested is the pulse. We have the pressure points where the heart beats. On the hand here, we call it the radial. We have also on the neck that we call the carotid pulse. So this one, I will come and secure it tightly, okay? Then we have this peg over here that now I will be using it now to be able to fasten. And I will continue now to make it move round, and then it begins to squeeze up. I continue to do this until I feel the heartbeat has ceased on the other side of the hand. So here, I'll be sure that blood has stopped coming out, okay? So you'll tell me where to stop. I continue.
Victor, just for the best demonstration, I think, Anthony, for the best demonstration, whenever you apply a tourniquet, the most important thing is to make sure that if you're shot in these particular areas, is to push the tourniquet to the highest position of the limb as possible.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just push it as high as possible, so that even if you're shot here, place it as high as possible, so that in case it doesn't stop, you don't remove this, you can place a secondary one. Slightly lower, but the best thing is to try and push it as high as possible.
But if you place the tourniquet higher, we may lose the whole limb. So we do not want to, the casualty to be able to lose the whole limb. So if it is, if it is amputated here, we can secure here. Okay. So if the bleeding now continues, then we can now add the secondary tourniquet. So I squeeze it up, okay, until now. Once it is tight enough, I can be able now to lock it up within this peg. Then now from here, I can be able now to secure this up, to strap this up. It's supposed to have somewhere. Now we can be able now to close it up, okay? So this is basically how we do it. Now this one is the commercial one. You do not have this commercial one. So you can
another example is just random on the streets.
Yes.
What should be the quickest scenario to stop the bleeding? If you're, if you have a cut, you have a gunshot somewhere, what do you have to do to stop the bleeding?
To stop
That's
the bleeding.
First thing, right.
So the first thing is for this person, you tell them to apply pressure.
Yes.
Okay. So once they have applied pressure, this one I wanted to use it as a secondary, as an improvised tourniquet. Let me get dressing.
And what about somebody says that you just tear your shirt, a vest?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
All right.
So now this one is a dressing that we can be able to use on someone who's bleeding. So this is how we will use it. Okay. So you get a hold of the dressing, but of course you have to have your gloves on. Okay. Then you place it there, and then afterwards you simply just unroll the dressing.
Okay, so this part goes to the wound.
Yes, it goes to the wound. So you unroll it, and then afterwards now you can be able to secure it, okay? The bleeding may be severe, especially now with whatever has been happening of late. Probably this person now is having severe bleeding. We've given the example of using a tourniquet, especially if the casualty's hand is amputated, okay? You do not have... then afterwards, now we secure it in place. You do not have that commercial tourniquet, then we can use an improvised tourniquet. You get a dressing, bandage like this, okay? Then afterwards, you secure, you come and
most of these things are available. We have handkerchiefs with us.
Yes.
Ladies have bandanas.
Even your shirts.
Yes. Exactly.
So
you can even use your shirt.
You can use your shirt.
Okay.
So once I have secured this, I can use for a stick a pen, okay? And then afterwards, I come and secure it in place like that.
Right.
Please come and hold this for me. Hold it up for me. So here I'm using an improvised tourniquet. So once I do like that, then this one I will simply now squeeze it up, okay? I continue to tighten it up. So this would help to control the bleeding. Once it's secured, then now from there, I can weave it up. Yes, it is very tight. So here we are sure that the bleeding will have stopped.
Perfect.
So I secure it in place, and then now from there, we have secured and controlled the bleeding.
Okay. So I love this. I love this. So let's come back to it. Sammy, the level of provocation that we usually witness, and even the composure, the mental preparedness to, and I want to talk to the police officers, the way they compose themselves, during whatever that we've gone through as a country, we've seen how composed they are. What does that really take? In fact, I'm told that for you to be a police officer, you don't have to be physically fit. First of all, you have to be mentally fit.
I think mental strength is actually is much more important than physical fitness.
Right.
Physical fitness is contributes a lot also to mental health, but mental strength. But the mental strength that you see, where you have to control yourself to a level that you get all this provocation. It's not something that you just wake up in the morning and you do. Police officers are trained.
Yes. And
they're not simply just trained on how to handle firearms, but they're trained on even riots. They're trained on how to control and how to de-escalate with all these riots. And you see, the calmness that you see is that he does not have to look agitated. He doesn't look like he's really annoyed about it. Because how do I put it? The best way I can say is the demeanor and how you look at somebody. If you see like I'm annoyed and I'm holding a rungu and I want to hit you, then the person also gets much more annoyed. But if you're so much annoyed and I'm calm, And all I can tell you, as you see most of the police officers always expressing by doing this. On one hand, he has a rungu, but on the other hand, you see the rungu doesn't come forward.
That's a dangerous person.
The rungu, no. But you see the rungu is always held back. And their left hand is always the one front. They don't hold the rungu like this, then they are telling you this. The rungu is always held back, and they're de-escalating. The more he keeps on de-escalating, and the more you keep on provoking them. Their provocation only comes when now there is threat to him. Or when now they are seeing that the more you're crowding and you're moving forward, the perimeter that they've put, you're going to break the perimeter. So they need to push you back.
So that's why actually we've seen most of the police officers retreating.
They retreat
fast.
They retreat fast because they really don't want to provoke you. But when you come closer and now you're pelting these stones and he's holding a shield, you're hitting his leg, and this is a stone. It's not a small stone. And you're hitting his leg and you're doing all that. What do? They lob the tear gases first to push you away further. And then when it becomes so intense, that's when they move to the rubber bullets. And they keep on pushing you back and pushing you back to disperse you as much as possible.
Let's come back home. All of us, we are in the comforts of our homes, and accidentally somebody gets a cut in the kitchen.
Yes.
Even Sammy, you can get a cut in a normal operation. So the first one, in 1 minute if you can, how can somebody just work on that very fast? You have a bleeding in the hand, or you've just knocked your feet, or whatever it is, in any normal situation in the house.
Or even you're having a burn.
Yes.
We usually say that for burns, our aim is to be able to cool the burn. So the person probably they're holding a hot sufuria.
Yes.
What you'll simply do, run to a tap of water, open it up, let water flush the area.
Cold water?
20 minutes, yes, cold water. The normal tap water. When talking about cold water, someone may take the cold water from the dispenser. Cold water, ice water will cause also burns, okay? So you simply just open up the tap, let the water run there for 20 minutes, and then this casualty should get some relief.
What about somebody who's bleeding in the house?
The person who's bleeding, they will simply need to sit down, pinch the soft part of the nose, lean forward, open their mouth, and breathe through their mouth. They hold that for 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. That is if the bleeding has not stopped. For every 10 minutes, 10 minutes, then afterwards, now you can send the person, if the bleeding has not stopped, you can make them to seek medical attention. Probably the causes of the bleeding not stopping is this person may be having high blood pressure, or they may be having problems with the clotting mechanism, the hemophiliac. So it means the bleeding cannot stop. But after 10 minutes, the bleeding should stop, okay? For a normal cut, what we simply do, like whatever we've done with the dressing, you'll just take a dressing and then cover it up, okay? Do not make it so tight, because if it is so tight, it will cut off blood circulation. And if it is extremely tight, it means that if blood does not move to the other part, then this person's hands may get problems. Yes. So that is basically what you can be able to do.
Sammy, how important is it even for the law enforcement officers who are actually licensed by the government to hold firearms to continue doing more trainings, even if you are in the military, actively so?
It is mandatory. It's actually in their SOPs. It's not something which it is optional. The continuous training is something which is mandatory, and it is very, very important. I think what has happened during the recent demonstrations has opened up many things that we understand now as what I would actually call like our underbelly. These are things that must be addressed, because you'll find that a police officer in a particular situation or a particular scenario, and his skills of arm-to-arm self-defense is a little bit low. He doesn't know that when you come approach me from this side, this is my best way of taking you down. These are things that they've been trained before, but maybe it has not been re-emphasized, that they have to keep on training and training and training and focusing.
For clarity,
that,
even at Ngao, you also train
we definitely do
officers
that.
And
we train police officers. We've given them our facility. They know they're always welcome there. We train with them. Most of them, we do a lot of training with them. There are some of the officers who actually started us as Ngao. They have been our trainers. So we do welcome them a lot. And Victor, with that, I would say that also some other media stations have also taken it up, and they've also come up to train with us and to know how to de-escalate, how to be able to prevent you from going to a position where you've been attacked, and how do you prevent that?
Yes.
It is clearly you basic hands and what to do. A pen like that one, a simple string like from your shoelace can really, really save your life. So these are skills, life skills that need to be adopted. Continuous training for our police officers is something that must be done. This is something that we'd call a clarion call to the IG, Inspector General of the Police, to please ensure that part of training, it should be given the biggest budget, I think, in everything. Okay. Because if they have continuous training, some of the things that you're seeing happening in the country today would not even be happening in the way.
Can civilians join for training or something?
Yes, we train civilians there because these are life skills. These are things that you must have. The people, we're all prone to attack. Yeah. There's always somebody out there who was intending to do something bad. That is why we have law enforcement, to make sure that everyone stays within their lanes. Okay. So at National Gun Owners Association, if you come there, we work very closely with St. John's, with Red Cross, to make sure that we bring on board some of these trainings, so that we make sure all that is well. Well, Victor, before I just finish, maybe Anthony, you just mentioned something. When you're dealing with a chest wound and there is a chest cavity where there is a bullet or a projectile that has hit you, the most important thing also to check, has it gone through? Because you could be sealing the chest on the front, but then it is sucking from...
There's a gaping hole
it's gaping hole from the rear. So once you just confirm with what we normally do, at times we don't even agree with the doctors. Yes. Because at times they tell us, "But now what did you now do?" Because they're seeing the limb is going. But to us, our priority is to save the life. Okay. So when we're doing our sweeping, we sweep. And check my hands, I sweep, I'll notice on the rear, there is a hole also. So what do? I seal the hole in the back first before I come back to the forward, so that I make sure that doesn't happen. I just want to bring that out so that we... All right. Send the right
Anthony, very quickly. Anybody can join St. John's Ambulance for training as a civilian, just for your own benefit.
Yes, we usually have volunteer members all the way from primary school, secondary school, we call them the cadets. The primary, we call them the dolphins. Then we also have the adults and the links who are now outside. They're not in an institution, so they can come and join us. For the people that they simply just want to come and learn first aid and then now go continue the other businesses, they can still come. We usually have trainings from Monday all the way to Fridays, and we have different courses. We have first aid at work or the occupational first aid. It runs Monday to Friday. That's a full week. We charge 6,500 for it. We have emergency aid training for the people that probably now they're drivers, they do not have time. We'll be able now to give you the best first aid that you can be able to handle in the event of an emergency. A person is not breathing, how you handle them. That one is a one-day training. We have international lifesaver, which is 3 days. And also we do train nannies. We also train young mothers. We call that emergency. We call it lifesaver for babies and children. So anyone can be able to come and join. You want to become a volunteer? Yes, you can. We have doctors, we have nurses. So anyone who wants to join St. John, you can join us. But also if you want to be trained, you can come and be trained. Our emergency number is 0721 225 285. You have an emergency, you just call the number and then someone will be able now to assist you. I may repeat it again, 0721 225 285. All right. It is not hard to cram.
What about now?
Now, Kenya, you just Google.
I know where Kirigiti is.
Google National Gun Owners Association. Right. You will find us in all platforms. Just National Gun Owners Association. You will find us in all platforms. And for licensed firearm holders, I would like to tell them that don't be a safekeeper. Don't get that firearm and put it inside your safe the day you need it. It's going to be harmful to you, harmful to the people around you, harmful to your children. So get it out there, bring it to the shooting range, learn how to use it best, and it will help you on the day that you really, really do need it.
Wow, what a way to end that. Today's been a good class. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Anthony Gillo, who is a trainer with St. John's Ambulance. Asante sana. I think this is completely different for me. Today we've not talked about politics. This is politics and we need to be safe. Sami Onyango, who is a master and an instructor with Ngao, thank you so much. He's also the chairman of Ngao National Gun Owners Association. Please guys, let's remember to always be safe. Do not provoke anyone. And based on what we've learned today, let's try as much as possible and be safe in our areas of jurisdiction. Mike, umelearn nini wewe baba? All right. Sawa. So Mike will tell us what he's learned. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. GMK takes a break. I'm taking a break, but Mike will be up next with the next segment. Stay with us. I'm Victor. Good morning. Wow.